Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Is it Monday today? I think it's Monday today. It's just, I always lose track of what day of the week it is. I say this almost every week. I barely leave my house, and every day just kind of rolls into every other day. So I'm pretty sure it's Monday because it's 2:30 p.m. and I'm here. So it's Monday. I've decided. Even if it's not Monday, it's Monday. So happy Monday, everybody. So if you can hear me, as always, I'm going to ask, can you just type me up some hellos or something, just so I know that you can actually hear me. This is always the bit of the session that makes me the most nervous, that in fact, nobody's out there and nobody can hear me. Oh, I have a thumbs up, so that's good. That means somebody can hear me. So it always takes people a few minutes to rock along. I don't know. Hey, Brian, good to see you again. I don't know what everybody else does with their time other than sit at their computers waiting with bated breath to see me, my branded t-shirt, and me. I have no idea what else they're doing. It clearly isn't as important as this, but it takes them time to show up. So we're going to give them a few minutes to show up. So, oh great, okay, so you can definitely hear me, Brian. Also, Hosco, Kevin, right, I have to remember you're Kevin, of course. Vaishnavi, hello. Tyrone, hello. Adam, hey. Henavi, cool, welcome from India. Oh, Henna, you've joined from India. Oh, it makes me so happy. I wanted to get to that part of the globe in one of my sessions, and this is the session that I set to get to India, Egypt, Pakistan, etc. So I'm so happy you made it. Thank you very much. You made it worth it. Not that the rest of you don't, but DJ, welcome back. I'm wondering what little gem you have for me this week, DJ. You like my t-shirt. So I did say to you guys last week and the week before I was going unbranded because my t-shirts had, I think, got themselves buried in amongst my children's clothes and they're lost and gone forever. I might find them when they eventually move out and pack up their stuff. So I did buy some new branded t-shirts, and it's so hot here in the UK. It's like 27, 28 degrees. For you Americans, you need to double that and add 30 to get to Fahrenheit. So I am now in my new t-shirt. And if you are an Academy member, you will, of course, recognize Annie Gigi. Look, there she is. That's Annie Gigi. Now, Annie Gigi was actually a design of myself that I created. And I created her at the beginning of the pandemic. So you can see that Annie Gigi's hair was quite short at the beginning of the pandemic. And now Annie Gigi's hair, or Gigi's hair, is much longer, having not been to a hairdresser for well over a year. So I might have to update her. I don't know. Okay, so welcome everybody. We've got a great turnout. I'm so excited to see you all here. Let me do my intro. I wanted to ask you guys something else, but I'll wait until another time. It's cool. All right, so my intro. If you do not know me, which I hope you do, I am Gigi and I am the Amazon interview whiz. I interviewed and most importantly for you guys, bar raised at Amazon for years. I hired literally hundreds of Amazonians on tech and non-tech roles, and I know exactly what it takes to get hired at Amazon. I now have my own Amazon interview preparation academy, and it's a digital program that I created so that everybody could get access to and afford expertise like mine. Because when I was at Amazon doing bar raising, I looked into kind of what you could earn in terms of being an Amazon coach, and it costs a lot of money, out of reach of very many people. So I decided I wanted to level the playing field. So I came up with this digital program. So I will talk to you about the Amazon Interview Whiz Academy. At the very, very end, I have a freebie to give you all, which you absolutely need to take, but we'll talk about that at the end. What else in my intro? So a couple of other things to say in terms of kind of process. I'm going to be reading the comments. I'm going to be picking out questions that I think are going to be really useful for everybody. I am going to avoid specific technical questions. I cannot be a technical expert in all I think they're up to 300 job families now in Amazon, and therefore I'm unlikely to be able to answer a very specific technical question. So I focus on the leadership principles, which absolutely everybody has to nail, and of course, interview strategy, which is a particular expertise of mine because I am a marketer and I understand human behavior, which is kind of why you see my videos look the way they look. What else do I need to tell you? I do have super stickers and super chat enabled on YouTube. So if you want to make sure that I see your comment, or you just want to say a little thank you to me for my efforts, you can go ahead and grab yourself a super chat and a super sticker. Thumbs up, you guys who have been here before, you know, I require 6 thumbs up before I will answer a question. It feeds the algorithm, it lets it know that there is good stuff happening here on the Annie Gigi show. No, it's not Annie Gigi's, it's mine, but we're the same. Anyway, thumbs up please, 6 thumbs up before I'll answer a question. And then finally, before I start, I know this was a very long preamble, I apologize. I have put a brand new solution on my YouTube channel because so many people have said to me, could I please write stuff down for them so they don't have to write it down themselves when they're watching my YouTube channel? So I have done that. There is now a PDF that you can get that has every single piece of content I have put onto my YouTube channel, which is all 51 videos. Video number 51 is going up today. And you can go look in the description of any of the videos. There is a link to that and you can get it through Buy Me a Coffee. It's $25, but it has taken all of the work out for you. So go snaffle that if you ever watch my videos and wished you didn't have to write it all down. Let us go, guys. I'm super psyched for today. A little bit hot, but super psyched. So I've had to close the window as well so that you don't hear my neighbor's children screaming. Some of you probably have your own children. You definitely don't need to hear anybody else's children screaming. Let's go. I'm going to say hi as we go along and we'll see what we have. So where did I stop? Henna, I stopped at you. So Alekia, is that it? I hope, like, hi, welcome, thank you. DJ, always lovely to see you. Ashley Green, always lovely to see you. And we've hit our first question with Brian. Okay, so what do we have? Okay, yeah, Brian, let's kind of ping this one up. Cool. So, Brian, you have a, do you know, I'm just going to close something down in my weird Star Trek panel here. It was getting in my way. There we go. That's better. You got a loop scheduled for next week. Ding, ding, ding. Exciting. The screens are focused on your experience in addition to LPs. Yes, as one might anticipate. Do you think they'll be in the case in the loop? Well, generally, they'll try and front load learning about your particular experience into the early rounds. Because truth be told, if you don't have the experience to do the job, there's not much point in hiring you. Because there's a lot of debate about this obviously out there, and many candidates would love companies and hiring managers just to give them a chance because they might be able to do the job. But that's not the real world. The real world, a hiring manager needs somebody to actually come in and do the work. And they can train them to a degree, but they're not going to want to train them to a large degree because that doesn't deliver ROI to the business. So that's why they front load that in the interview process to make sure you have those skills. And of course, you have the leadership principles because that's what delivers the view of whether someone's a bar raising candidate or not. Now, Brian, are you going to have exactly the same thing in your loop? I cannot tell you definitely no. I would say that in the majority of cases, if you've got all the way to loop, they are going to assume that you have the skills required because somebody tested that early on in the flow. And if they weren't happy that you had the skills, they would not have passed you all the way to loop. So I'm gonna go all out there and say, I believe the majority of your loop will be focused on the leadership principles. Now, of course, you're going to want to, wherever you can, in your answers to the behavior questions that you're asked about the leadership principles, align them to the skills required for the job. So that will give that extra evidence in debrief that you have the skills. Will anyone particularly want to dive into particular aspects of your resume? Probably not, but possibly they will, because sometimes that's just what some interviewers want to do. That's the way they warm up into an interview. I tended to ask, what appeals to you about this role? That was my way in. But other interviewers might just ask you for a little bit of your background, or they might pick something out of your CV/resume. So I'm afraid you have to be prepared for both at this stage. Probability is towards the focus on the leadership principles, but always worth being prepared and expecting both. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Brian, and thank you for your thumbs up at the top. So, what else do we have here? Ooh, scrolling. Oh, Davi, welcome back. Hello, I recognize you from a last session. Welcome back, delighted to see you. Aniket, hello, welcome. Oh, Brian, you're an Academy member. I'm sorry, the Academy's now so big, which I guess was the point of it. I no longer remember everybody's name, so I'm so pleased that you're in the Academy, and it's very kind of you to say you wouldn't have got this far without it, so awesome. Everybody else can get a taste of that with the freebie I'm going to give you at the end. But Brian, fingers crossed for you. Okay, Lorine, hello, I reckon. Lorine, you got the job. Sorry guys, I get very excited. Congratulations, Lorine. I am so thrilled for you. Congratulations. Guys, can we please give Lorine a big thumbs up? Amazing achievement. I'm so excited for you. I hope you have an incredible journey as an Amazonian. Brilliant. Thank you. That's definitely made my day. I love it when that happens. Okay, Sanjay, hi, you're absolutely welcome for my live sessions. As you can see, I quite enjoy them too. Hey, Kevin, you've got your on-site tomorrow. You're excited. Cool, a Tuesday. At least it's not a Friday. I will at some point have to do a survey of how many people are having their on-sites on various days. Statistically speaking, it should be just as probable to have it on any day of the week, but almost everyone tells me Friday. But you've got Tuesday. Tuesday's good. Tuesday's my lucky day. Fingers crossed for you, Kevin. Okay, Davi, okay. Okay, yeah, cool. Let me see if I can, yes, there we go. I think I can answer this one for you, Kevin. So, I remember the couple of questions. You asked some really good questions the last time you were here. So, you've got your on-site tomorrow. Oh, no, wrong one. Oh, sorry, Kevin. This all went horribly wrong. Davi, I meant to pin Davi. There we go. Not that you didn't ask good questions, Davi, but sorry about that. Technical blip. You're waiting for your loop feedback. Fingers crossed. Although I heard somebody from the Academy told me that you're only ever supposed to cross in odds, otherwise it cancels it out, which does explain a lot about my life so far. So I think it was Bri. Anyway, just one cross in case. Okay, 2 quick questions. Does Amazon run referrals checks in Amazon, especially UK and EU, after extending an offer? Yes, without question. They'll extend an offer and then you should have provided them with some names prior to your application or at some point during the process, and they will definitely be contacting those people and looking for to ask them some questions about you. Generally, unless something horrible emerges, and Amy Miller Recruiting in Yoga Pants has a hilarious story on her YouTube channel about when she used a referral from somebody one day. I won't spoil it for you, but you should definitely go to her YouTube channel and check it out. It's hilarious. But unless something horrible shows up in your referrals, it's kind of just a bit of a box ticking exercise. But yes, they will definitely do a referral check for you. You are welcome, and fingers crossed for your loop feedback. Okay. Okay, very quickly for you. I don't know how I'm going to try and pronounce this right. I'm sorry if I get this wrong. Genuinely, I'm sorry. Vaishnavi. I'm going for Vaishnavi. Okay, you're asking me about the different statuses on the front end of the portal. People ask me this question all of the time, and unfortunately I'm going to put it up here because I'm going to tell you I can't answer the question. I've never used the front end portal. I wasn't a recruiter. I was a bar raiser and a hiring manager interviewer, so we never dealt with that side of the system. I have been trying to find a recruiter to help me understand, and I hate to say it, many of them don't know the front end of the system either. So I'm going to keep on digging, maybe in the team, the recruiting engine team who build all the tools. I'm going to dig in there and see if I can find the answer, but I cannot tell you the answer right now, much to my shame. I hate having to say that. It happens very rarely. Okay. What have we got? Just checking that no one's super stickered me. Okay. Okay. Here we go, Ashley. Is there a certain amount of time that you should wait before applying for other interviews? Your recruiter said that it was okay to apply or reapply. You didn't have to wait. So just reapply then. If your recruiter has said to you, you're good to go, then you just reapply whenever you find a role that you think suits you. What's happened here for you, Ashley, is you were, it did happen to you, you've said. So you were not inclined, Ashley, I'm sorry, but you are not inclined recycle, which means that your panel, although they felt you weren't right for this role, because probably where they really required the candidate to have strengths in a particular leadership principles, you didn't quite hit the mark for strength in those leadership principles. When they looked at your kind of dashboard overall, they felt that you were still a strong candidate, and if you found the right role, you would be able to potentially raise the bar. So that's why they've said just go for it, throw yourself back into the pool and see what else you can find. So there's absolutely no variable in there in terms of the length of time that you should wait to improve your odds or impact on your odds. So if you find a role, go for it. What I would say though, Ashley, is if you didn't get this one, that's because the LPs weren't quite aligned to your strengths. So as you're looking for those new roles, really think about the new one that you're looking at and the one that you didn't get the job for, and just see if you can find some slight deviations in the new ones that might give you a kind of the chance beyond where you were with the last one, where they didn't feel that you were quite right. I am sorry to hear you've got a not inclined though, Ashley. You've been very dedicated to this process. Okay. Aratha, my thumbs up. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, so for new joiners, if you want your question answered, then you need to do some thumbs up for me. I require a minimum of 6. Some people are going crazy. If you want to make sure I definitely spot your question, I do have super stickers and super chats enabled. So let's have a look. Oh, we've got another winner. Andrei, this is a hot day. Well, I knew it's a hot day. I told you that at the beginning, but we are on fire today when it comes to winners. You followed my advice and you've got a role with learning and development. Awesome, Andrei. Winner, chicken dinner, as we say in my house. Guys, let's all give Andrei a huge thumbs up. Congratulations. I'm sure you're going to have a fantastic career as an Amazonian. It's a privilege to have been able to help you get there. Cool. Awesome. So exciting. I'm hoping I might find some more today. Feels like it's our lucky day. Right. Kevin, I am glad you asked this question. This is such a good question. Oh, I'm so glad you asked it. Right. So, first of all, thumbs up for being brave and putting this out there and for setting the tone for anybody else who might have the same issue. So I thank you on their behalf for that. You have a slight speech impediment that causes you to pause briefly when you are speaking. And should you let your interviewer know so they don't think I'm ill-prepared? Yes, 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 yes. And that's why I'm so pleased you said this. The post that I just put on YouTube that's going to go live at 9 p.m. my time this evening talks about something similar, which is about nerves and how you manage nerves in the interview. And one of the things that I say as a key hack is fess up. Tell your interviewer, because what you don't want to be doing is going through your interview experience, and Kevin, this is definitely relevant for what you've said, being concerned about how they are going to be interpreting, or to your point, Kevin, misinterpreting your behaviors. So if you are nervous, you might sweat. If you are like me and you have something called an essential tremor, when adrenaline starts pumping through your body, you start shaking. And if you're like Kevin and maybe you have a speech impediment, you might pause before you're ready to go. Now, if you tell your interviewer that, that's going to have two benefits. Number one, you're not going to worry about it. It's going to be out there. You know that they know, and you don't have to worry about whether they are coming to the wrong conclusion. And equally, they know, so when this happens, they're not going to be investing any of their cognitive load thinking about, that's a bit weird. Why is Kevin doing that? Is he all right? Have I said something? Is he intimidated? They won't worry about it. So all of their focus can be on listening to what you're saying rather than seeing your body language and trying to kind of work out in the back of their mind what's going on. So absolutely, Kevin, I would say totally tell your interviewer that situation, and anyone else in the same situation, tell them. Anyone with nerves, tell them. It will benefit you, it will benefit them. And power to you, Kevin, for raising that one. Best question I think I have ever had. Great. Okay. Let's see. This is so exciting. Babebubebelle. Is that the way I pronounce that? Babebubebelle. Try saying that after you've had a few shandies, eh? You got an offer last Friday. You are very, very welcome. I hope you had a few shandies after that shandy. I don't know if everyone else in the world has shandy. Maybe I should explain what a shandy is. Maybe it's very British. It's half a pint of lager. Many of you in Europe might not know what a pint is. So 300 millilitres, I think. And then another half pint of lemonade. That is a shandy. So congratulations, babebubebelle. Well done. Amazing. Everybody, let's give him a thumbs up. Congratulations. I'm sure you'll have a fantastic Amazon career. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, okay. So we have a super sticker which just caught my eye. So let me just do this. Oh, it's so funny. They use the words for the super sticker instead of actually showing me the little icon that you get. I see the words and it says pair character turning around, waving his hand, saying, "Hey you," whilst lowering his glasses. How random. So it's Alakaya, is it? Alakaya? I'm going for that. I hope that's okay. How to give a leadership principle example when you do not have one. Another very, very good question. You don't, is my tip. And I do have a video of this on YouTube. It is better to be honest and say to your interviewer that you really don't have a good example than to give them something completely rubbish or make something up on the fly that doesn't do you justice. Now, some people can do that because they're just very good at operating on the fly. Most people can't. So tip number one would be, if you think you have an example that is kind of right, but not quite, say to your interviewer, I've got an example that's like this, and give them the 10,000 feet view of your example, literally 3 sentences. This is the only time I advocate for the kind of really high level answer. Will this work? Now, it might work and I might just say, yeah, go ahead. Or it might be that the slight difference that you've identified is really important to them in terms of getting the data that they're looking for. And they might say, no, I'm sorry, that's not going to work. If you get a no, I'm sorry, that's not going to work, then this is my suggestion. You say, in which case, I don't want to waste your time or my opportunity. I don't have an example that I feel fits that question. Could you give me another question? And they will give you another question. Now, you obviously can't do this too many times because then it will seem to the panel or the interviewer that you just don't have a good, consistent amount of high-performing examples. And that, of course, is not great when you're looking for a bar-raising candidate. So definitely don't do it more than once in any single interview. And if you're going through kind of a whole day on-site loop panel, whatever you want to call it, I would also try not to do it much more than maybe twice. But you do definitely have that option. Cool. I hope that was helpful for you. Check out the video. I don't say much more than I just said there. I probably just say more words, but it's there for you. And of course, it's written in the notes. Boom, boom. Right. So I'm going to take myself back up to where I was. Here we go. Oh, and thank you for my super sticker. I didn't say thank you. I should have said thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so I'm just going to say this quickly. I'm not going to put this up on the screen. So, Devashish. So you're asking me about making career changes and recommendations for how you make a career change. I'm not a career coach. I am an absolute expert in the Amazon interview process, but I'm not a career coach. So I'm going to suggest that you go check out, from a recruiter's point of view, what they'll kind of tolerate in terms of career switching, to Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. And I would also suggest that you follow someone on LinkedIn called Austin Beck. He is a career coach and he talks quite a lot about early years careers, etc. And that sounds like what you're looking for. So I'm always very honest when I am not the right person to speak to. And in this case, I am not the right person to speak to. So check out Amy and check out Austin. Okay. Brian. I've never had this question before and I've never thought about this scenario, but I guess it's probably very relevant for people. So in terms of referrals, they ask for one peer and one boss. You haven't had a boss in 7 years. Started your own company. Cool. I started my own company. It's terrifying. Would more peers be acceptable? Just ask your recruiter. I would say, Brian, if you have to go back 7 years to find a hiring manager for them to get a referral from, chances are Brian of today is not the Brian of 7 years ago. So if I was looking for references for you, I'm not sure how much stock I would put into knowing the you of today if I had to ask someone who hasn't known you for 7 years. So I would probably say I'd be looking for more recent and peer referrals, but you should, references, not referrals, references. You should definitely check it out with your recruiter. Okay, interesting question. We're going into interesting places today, which is cool. All right. Oh, I pronounced your name right. Excellent. Okay, for those of you who have just joined, which many have, you have to make a payment in order to get an answer in GG land, and that is thumbs up. 6 thumbs up if you want me to answer a question. That's so that the algorithm knows something cool is happening here and helps boost me, and I need all the boosting I can get. Or of course, I have super stickers and super chat enabled if you really want to make sure I spot your question. So, okay, Sravanthi, I'm guessing you were late to the party, you don't know the thumbs up, and that's why you haven't put it there. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because I am that type of person. So let's have a look at your question. I feel good I pronounced your name right, Sravanthi. Okay, so let's have a look. Do you know what? I should have said that before I then went into that, because you're asking a very specific technical question. And you must have been late, because at the beginning I said I cannot answer specific technical questions because there are 300 job families in Amazon and I'm not a technical expert in all 3. So I'm afraid I am not able to tell you how in-depth coding questions are going to be asked. So, or indeed which ones will be asked. So you're probably better off, again, I will be honest if I'm not the person to ask, you're probably better off just going to YouTube and Googling SDE interview. There'll be a whole bunch of people that went through their own SDE interview, and I don't believe there are any Amazons on there telling you about what that's going to look like, because they're not supposed to do that. But you might just be able to take a big tranche of those different videos, listen to the different answers from all of the different people that went through the interview process, and from that conclude what the probability is of these various things for you. If I was you, that's what I would do. Okay, moving on then. Veronica. Why would you be inclined but not at a specific building and encouraged to look at other buildings with the same position open? You have another interview today with a hiring manager. It seems to me, Veronica, the word that's the variable in there is building. Now, I can't imagine what one physical building versus another physical building has to do with your fit for a role or not, unless different things go on in those different buildings. So although it might be exactly the same kind of role scope-wise, maybe the actual nature of the deliverable in one building versus the other building is ever so slightly different. So I'll give you an example of a product manager. If you look at a product manager job description, whether you're going to be a product manager at Prime Video, Audible, fashion, any other number ones, IMDb, blah, 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 they're all exactly the same job description. In fact, they'll often use exactly the same job description, just with the different intro, depending on what actual organization it is. Now, you might not be such a great fit for Prime Video if actually there's a certain element of your technical skills that don't lean so well towards digital video, but perhaps you might be a good product manager for fashion, where really what you're dealing with is the CMS platform and how the kind of the nuts and bolts work on retail. Same job, very different requirements. So with the data that you've given me, I cannot conclude specifically why, but I'm going to go for maybe slightly things happen in different buildings. I don't know. Let me know. I'm curious. I know that didn't answer your question, but it might give you an idea for why there's some variability. Okay, what else have we got here then? Scrolling, okay. Lots of thumbs ups and welcome and congratulations for everybody higher up. Okay, Rajendra. I'm going for Rajendra. I hope that's right. You have, however, not given me any thumbs up. So, oh, you did later. You did in a question later on. All right, I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you, Rajendra. Let's just find your question now. Oh, I've lost it. I've spun past it. There it is. There it is. Okay. It's like a comedy show for you today. Right. Do recruiters or recruiting coordinators have a role in the hiring decision at all? No, absolutely not. And the reason why they do not have a role in the hiring decision is because they have skin in the game. Recruiters, we can talk about recruiting coordinators later, but recruiters, they have targets to hit. They have a number of roles that are open and they have a number of roles to fill. And therefore, they have a very good reason to want you to be hired so that you can then help them meet their targets. And once that happens, they then can walk away from you for the rest of their lives, and it doesn't make a skin of difference to them because they don't have to work with you every single day. So they have all of the benefit and none of the risk. and therefore they have no say whatsoever on whether you get hired or not. Now, they can influence, because if, for example, you are incredibly rude and condescending or whatever in terms of your interaction with the recruiter, that they will share with the team. That's a flag on earned trust. It's a piece of data around earned trust. So only really in those circumstances is the hiring team going to be listening to the recruiter in terms of gathering data to make a decision on you. In all other cases, they have no say in it whatsoever because, as I said, they have all the benefit and none of the risk. Recruiting coordinators is a complete, they're outside the process, to be honest with you. They manage all of the logistics, getting people in the right place at the right time, organizing diaries, communicating with you, etc. But their job is a logistics one. They actually they don't get involved in the hiring. They just get involved in the logistics. Now, that doesn't mean to say they don't have a really important role. Absolutely. It doesn't mean to say it isn't a tough role. Man, is it a tough role. Those guys having to deal with all of those managers with all of their diaries moving all over the place, I would pull my hair out. Tough job, but really nothing to do with the actual hiring experience itself. So just don't be rude to your recruiter and you'll be fine, basically. I hope that helped. Okay, what else do we have? Right, okay. Just having a quick spin, no more stickers and chats, okay. Let's have a look. Sorry, just trying to find one that I think would be good for everybody. Okay, Bianca, thank you very much for your thumbs up earlier. Oh, or is that for Flores? Or did I miss something for Flores earlier? Oh, I might have to go back and have a look at that. Okay, how do the writing sample and SHL test influence the hiring process? Good question, because you talked process, which is a very good point of specificity. So the SHL gives the team a sense of, do you have the basic skills, mathematical, verbal reasoning, all of those. Do you just have a basic level of, education's the wrong word, but you know what I mean, kind of capabilities. And they set a bar, a mark, pass level that you have to pass. If you can't pass that, then that's going to be definitely brought up if they've decided to move you to interview before they get the SHL results through, and it could influence whether you move on to the next round or not, or indeed part of the discussion in debrief if that's the situation. But generally you just have to hit a mark, and once you're past that mark, that's it. It's done and dusted. It's filed away, never to be seen again. Writing sample. So the writing sample is there because there is not a decision that is made in Amazon that is not made because somebody spent an inordinately long time writing a document, and then a whole bunch of other people spent less time, sat in a room in silence, reading the document for half an hour and then talking about the document for half an hour. That's how decisions are made in Amazon. So the writing sample is there to prove that you are capable of writing clearly, concisely, specifically, taking the reader through a narrative from beginning to end so they understand all of the conclusions that you've drawn, etc. That's why the writing sample is there. It doesn't have a weighted contribution effect as far as the process is concerned. There are two people in the debrief, kind of the interview panel, that are absolutely required to read your writing sample, and that is the hiring manager and the bar raiser. Others might read it, but they aren't obliged to. And what will happen in the debrief process is the bar raiser will raise, and did everyone read the writing sample? If people hadn't yet made notes on the writing sample in hire, are we feeling comfortable that the candidate has the right quality standards as far as writing is concerned? There will be a yay or there will be a nay. Or if there's a nay, there might be some conversation as to whether it might be hard to coach that candidate up to an acceptable standard at Amazon. And once everyone's got comfortable that it's a yay or a nay, but we can get them there. The job is done of the writing sample. I have never seen in all of the debriefs that I was in at Amazon a candidate who was strong on the leadership principle side not get hired because their writing sample was below par. Generally, everybody has to learn how to write in Amazon. Even no matter how strong you are when you go in, there is a certain way of writing in Amazon, and pretty much everyone has to learn that to one degree or another. So if you're strong on the LPs, if you're kind of average on the writing sample, you'll be fine. If you're not so strong on the LPs, no amazing quality writing sample is going to save you one way or the other. And I'll say the same with technical skills. If you are strong on the technical skills, but meh on the leadership principles, you're still not getting in. The most important thing is that you raise the bar on the leadership principles. Period. Okay, I hope that was helpful, Bianca. Gonna move on. See what else we've got here. Oh, there's loads. It's hard to see them. Okay. Ooh, I'm going a bit blind with it now. Okay, Mehdi. Hello, Mehdi. I definitely know I pronounced your name right because I used to manage a Mehdi. Oh, I loved him so much. He was so lovely. Okay, you've written your writing sample and you use the storytelling technique. Initial situation in, what's that? I don't know. I don't know what incitative means actually, and I'm embarrassed because I'm English and I've got a classical literature degree, so maybe you just mistyped it. Rising action, climax, resolution, and final situation. What do I think? I think it's a bit much, if I'm brutally honest with you. You're not telling a story. I know we talk about your examples being telling a story, but you're not actually telling a story with a narrative arc and the heroic kind of journey or anything like that. Situation, task, action, result. Keep it simple, Mehdi. What was the situation you went into? Probably only need 4-5 lines just to explain that. Keep it tight. Task, be very specific. What task did you have to undertake? Maybe that's only about 2 or 3 lines. Action, that's where the meat is. That's where your behaviors are. So what exactly did you do? Who did you speak to? What did you say? How did you say it? Results. Results shouldn't take too long. It might just be some data points. There might just be a little bit more information. So you're probably looking at 5-6 lines, something like that. You've only got 2 sides to work with on that. So just keep it simple, Mehdi. It's not an essay. Definitely not an essay. I was going to send you to my blog, but I think I'm upgrading my website, so there's no point sending you to my blog because you won't actually find my blog about writing sample. But I do have a video on the writing sample on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. And of course, I've detailed that information from that video in the supporting notes as well, which you can find in the description. Okay. Right, I'm gonna try and jump a little bit because I've got so many questions and I'm literally going blind with them, and I want to make sure I get to people further down the bottom. Again, if you have a really important question that you want to make sure I answer, just stick on a super sticker, even if it's a quid, just to make sure that I don't miss it, because there's so much going on here, which is amazing. But okay, what have we got here? Tyrone. Okay, Tyrone, welcome. I don't recognize your name, so maybe this is the first time you've been here. If it is, welcome. If I haven't noticed you before, I apologize. Okay, you have a phone interview at 8 a.m. PST. Cool, that's like 5 o'clock today for me. You saw you'll have a math flow question. Math in public is never good for me. Is it make or break? There will be a standard. Again, I can't talk to the absolute specifics of this because this is quite specific technical detail for a particular role. There will be a standard that you have to meet, and if you don't meet that standard, then yes, it will be make or break. But let's talk about what Kevin asked us earlier. You know that with the pressure of somebody watching you doing math, it's harder for you. Generally doing your job, there isn't someone standing over your shoulder when you're doing the math. So if there is an interviewer there with you and you're having to do it, you should just feel free to say to them, just want to let you know that people watching me when I do these types of things does unsettle me a little. So just bear with me. I will just take a few moments just to breathe and settle myself before I get on with it. And you never know, they might just say, do you know what? I'll turn off my camera and take off the pressure from you. And then you can just get on with it and I'll pop back in 5 minutes. They might use the chance to go out and have a bathroom break or get a glass of water. So I think it's worth just being honest in interviews. If you know you respond in a certain way that might hold you back, then you should tell your interviewer, and then it's up to them to make decisions about how they try and accommodate and be inclusive of your particular mental kind of processes, if you like. Hope that was helpful. Okay. Oh, and good luck. Good luck. I know it's not far away now. What else have we got? I'm going to try and find somebody new. Okay. Yeah, Ganesh. Welcome back, Ganesh. Oh, thank you. I've just spotted you further up. Ah, thank you. I'm glad you like my courses. I'm really pleased. All right, split loops. So this is good. This is relevant for quite a few people because quite a few people go through split loops. So let me just make sure that people understand what a split loop is first. So sometimes what will happen is a candidate is being considered for two roles that are maybe more often than not quite similar roles. And rather than force the candidate to go through two completely separate processes, which not only is inefficient for them, but is hugely inefficient for Amazon, what they'll do is they'll slam together the two different groups who are hiring and create one single panel from these two different groups, and the candidate will go through the process and a decision will be made. So Ganesh, your question is, how are they different from interviewing for a single role? No way whatsoever. As far as you're concerned, you're interviewing for Amazon. Now, if the roles are massively different kind of technically and skills wise, that might make it a bit trickier. But if that was the case, they shouldn't be doing a split loop. So really, you just think about the leadership principles. Think about everything you read in the Amazon Interviewers Academy and the different facets and the different behaviors. And it will all be exactly the same when it comes to a split loop process. Second part of your question then. Debrief. The only different part of the debrief is what they will do is they will discuss, I have managed split loop debriefs myself before, they will discuss whether you are bar raising or not, right? Either you are bar raising or you are not. You cannot be bar raising in one role and not be bar raising in the other role. You're either bar raising or you're not bar raising. So the first thing they'll do is conclude, are you a bar raising candidate? And then once they've concluded if you're a bar raising candidate, they will then talk about which of the two roles do they think you are. I bet you that's it's my daughter. Oh, hang on a second. I'm sorry, I'm going to do this live. I'm just going to go on mute, but it's my little 10-year-old. I'm very, very sorry. She's 10. She's walking home from school by herself, which isn't too far away. But when she phones, I answer. So I'm really sorry to have made you guys wait for that. Okay. So what will happen then, Ganesh, is they will just discuss between them, like, which one do they think you're more suited for? Which one are they more desperate for to fill in the organization? Sometimes one team will say, I am so desperate, like we're really in trouble. And the other team will say, well, we really want Ganesh, but thinking big and thinking about what's better for the organization as a whole, we aren't as desperate as this other team, so we'll make the offer to Ganesh for the other team. Or they might say, look, we both want him as much. He'd be fantastic in either role. Let's let him choose. That's the possible outcomes. So fantastic that you've got those two options. I have my fingers crossed for you. Okay, moving on then, just spinning. Oh, there's so many. I'm definitely not going to get way through all of these questions, guys. I'm really, really sorry. I'm going to try and jump down a few more and see if I can find somebody new. I'm back again on Monday if I don't get to your question today. Okay. Henna, hey. So you got your loop on Friday. I knew someone was going to have a loop on Friday. How important is it to talk about strategic rather than operational? Henna, it really depends on the role. You have to really, really understand, is the role more strategic or is the role more operational? Because whichever way it falls, that's really where you're going to want to focus on the examples that you've got to offer, because you want them to see that you are the very best fit possible for that role. So be clear with yourself. Is it a strategic role? Is it a more operational role? The second bit of advice then is big. Try and land the biggest examples that you have in your kit bag. And if you find yourself in a situation, if we're imagining the world is divided into strategic and operational, and you have a whole bunch, you've got some great, and let's say it's an operational role for the argument's sake. You've got 3 or 4 really strong operational examples, and then you start to get into some that you think are really mediocre, but you have another 2 or 3 really strong strategic roles. I would say go for the strategic ones. You'd be better off to show big impact, big results in strategic things, even if it's not directly aligned to the operational role, than you would be to show mediocre things because they're aligned to the operational role. And the reason I say that is when a decision is being made to hire you or not, there are 2 key things that they're looking for. Number 1, are you bar raising? Are you better than 50% of the candidates currently operating at that employees currently operating at that level in Amazon? And then the second one is, do you have long-term Amazon career growth potential? If you're able to show big results for both operational and strategic, as a bar raiser whose responsibility it is to make sure they're comfortable with that second one, you look like a pretty good prospect, because when that job's over, you could, or when you've outgrown that job, you could potentially move into a more strategic role. So there are definitely benefits to playing both sides of the fiddle, is that an expression? But try and align it as much as you can in the majority of your cases to the focus of the role, be it operational or strategic. Okay, I hope that one was helpful. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, so many. I'm spoiled for choice. Again, if you want to make sure I feel like I'm trying to force you to give me money. I'm not. But if you have a really critical question that you want me to see in the next, because you've got an interview coming up in the next few days, just chuck a super sticker on it. Like pennies is fine if you can do pennies, but just to make sure I see it. Okay. Okay, sorry, trying to find one that I think is going to be useful for everybody. Jose, hello, good morning. Gosh, have you just joined us? Welcome. Oh, okay, good question. Andy likes candy. Who doesn't like candy? Andy? Jeez. Okay, is there any disadvantage to splitting the loop across 2 days? It just depends on you and how well you operate. I wouldn't do well splitting a loop across 2 days. Once I'm in it, I'm in the zone. I can go with my adrenaline. If you're the type of person that gets quite tired quite easily, then splitting it across 2 days can be really helpful to you. I think, don't shout at me if this is a huge generalization, but I think kind of extrovert, obnoxious type people like me tend to really enjoy talking about ourselves. That makes me sound like a shocker. And they tend to kind of go for like the one single day because they're in the zone and boom, boom, boom. I think introverts just find that type of process really quite mentally draining, and they quite often split it across 2 days. So the only advantage or disadvantage is in you. It makes no difference whatsoever internally for the organization as to whether you choose to have it in one day or across two. The interviewers who interview you are not allowed to speak to each other, or at least not allowed to speak to each other about interviewing you until they have submitted their notes into the higher system, have placed their vote, and they know that the other person has also done the same. So what happens is once you submit your notes and you press the vote button, you can ping see everybody else who has already submitted their vote. So you can see if someone interviewed you but hasn't yet submitted their vote, and therefore you know you're not allowed to talk to them about you and their decision on you. So you choose what works best for you. Do you want to do the one day? Do you want to do it across two? You're the person that benefits or misses out. It makes no difference to the people on the other side of the table, or the screen, I suppose now. Okay, thank you. Andy likes candy. Gigi likes candy as well, although we call it sweets here in the UK. My kids loved calling it candy. They think it sounds very exotic when you call it candy. All right, how many? We've got 3 minutes left, so there is just going to be one question. I think one question I can get to. Oh, DJ, am I not going to be back this Wednesday? I am. I thought today was Wednesday. I did say at the beginning of this that I had no idea what day it is. I will be back come hell or high water, Mondays, Wednesdays, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday. Yes, sorry DJ, sorry everybody if I confused you. Clearly I'm confused. Clearly I'm confused. See, Sarub knows me. You know I get confused. All right, so, so Myra, I'm going to answer this one because I can do this super quick, and then I'll just kind of tell you about the amazing freebie I can give you. So how many leadership principles are covered in each of the rounds, considering there are 4 rounds? Your interviewer should be assigned 2 leadership principles. On very rare occasions, there might be 2 leadership principles and maybe a technical piece if it's technical roles. I don't think I've ever come across a debrief where they had to have 3 leadership principles. So broadly speaking, money's on 2 leadership principles. In theory, your interviewer should be aiming for 3 questions minimum. If you are more junior, they'll probably get through more because your examples will be less complicated. If you're more senior, they should be aiming for 3 because they really need to make sure that they get a broad set of data. Yet sometimes I have heard, particularly recently with my candidates from the academy, that some people are getting like 1 question and diving deep on that. So I cannot promise you exactly how many questions you're going to get. Neither can I promise you definitively it will only be 2 leadership principles, but I'll go for 96% of the time it will be 2 leadership principles. All right, so 1 minute to spare then. So let me tell you about the amazing freebie I'm giving you. So you've had a few people talk about my Amazon Interviewers Academy. 700 hours of my blood, sweat, and a lot of tears went into the Amazon Interviewers Academy. My husband can attest to the tears. So here it is. There we go. The Amazon Interviewers Academy. If you go there, you can get my Customer Obsession Leadership Principle Masterclass completely free. Not only is it free, but it's free of ongoing harassment from Gigi, because I will not follow you with marketing and try and get you to buy other stuff. I'm a marketer, it feels weird to do that, but I'm trying to stand behind the fact that I believe my product is good, and if it's good enough for you, then hopefully you will then decide to buy more of it. I chose Customer Obsession as the one I was going to give away because it is the most important leadership principle in Amazon. You guys know that. It's the world's most customer-centric organization, I think is the phrase that Jeff started with. So if you're going to nail any leadership principle, please nail Customer Obsession. Every one of you will be tested on Customer Obsession because it's so foundational. So there it is. Go there, enroll, take the course, enjoy it. It's a gift. All right, so I think we're done and dusted. I'm really sorry for you guys who I didn't get to. Per DJ and Sharub's notice, I will be back on Wednesday. I promote the time on my LinkedIn page, so please follow me on LinkedIn if you want to keep track of when the times are for my lives are. I also obviously advertise them on YouTube. If you subscribe, if you press the bell, you will get notified when new lives happen. I also just got approved for LinkedIn Live. Whoop, whoop! It's very, 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 very special to get that approval. So that was only the other day. So I now have to work out a whole new set of streaming software to be able to integrate lives for YouTube and LinkedIn. That will happen, I hope, next week. But if you want to know when I'm going to be here, follow me on LinkedIn, subscribe to YouTube, press the bell, and then hopefully whenever I'm here, you will know it. All right, I'm going to let you all go. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining. I had a great time. Well done, all of you who got jobs. It was an amazing day for that. So incredible. It's so tough. So enjoy. Have a fabulous Amazon career. And thank you for allowing me to be part of that journey. It makes it all kind of worthwhile being locked here in my little office in Hertfordshire. Be safe, everybody. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.